Inside Building Products, a Siemens podcast that keeps you learning.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know, there are these technologies all around us working away, making everything run smoothly, safely, comfortably, but we barely notice them. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of those areas. It's called combustion technology. Now, combustion sounds, well, maybe a bit technical, a bit intense, perhaps.
Yeah, it can sound that way. But really, our goal today is just to unpack this fascinating world of combustion systems, why they're so important, how they're changing. And we want to do it in a way that's clear, engaging, for you. You definitely don't need an engineering degree for this conversation. We're drawing on some really interesting insights from Siemens about their own work in this area.
Exactly, because this isn't just about like factory equipment somewhere far away. It's about the systems that heat your home, the ones that warm your water for a shower, the things that really underpin our comfort, our safety every single day.
They really do.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. Let's start right at the beginning. What is combustion technology?
Yeah.
I mean, beyond just, burning something.
That's a great starting point. So fundamentally, when we talk about combusting fuels, oil, gas, maybe even things like hydrogen down the line, it's essentially the source material calls it a controlled explosion.
The controlled explosion. Okay.
Yeah, and that word controlled, it's absolutely crucial. That's the whole point. It's about managing this very powerful chemical reaction very precisely.
So you get the energy out safely.
Exactly. Safely, efficiently, predictably. You're not just letting it run wild.
Right. So when I think about, say, heating my house,
or
getting hot water for a shower, like you said, or even, the heating in a big office building, that's all powered by these controlled combustion systems.
That's it, precisely. They're kind of the hidden engines working away, making sure we have that warmth and comfort when we need it.
Okay, so here's where I think it gets really interesting. Just how widespread are these systems and how sort of versatile?
Oh, the range is honestly quite amazing. It really shows how scalable this core technology is. According to the Siemens materials, their systems are used in everything from tiny little gas boilers, the kind that might heat just one apartment or small house.
Okay, tiny ones.
All the way up to absolutely massive district heating plants. They mentioned Beijing as an example.
Beijing, wow. So heating on a city scale.
Yeah, basically coordinating the heat for huge parts of a major city. Think about the complexity there, managing that safely, efficiently for millions.
That flexibility must be, a huge deal for the companies actually making the heaters, right? The OEMs.
Oh, absolutely. For the original equipment manufacturers, it means they can essentially use the same core Siemens control products, whether they're building a tiny residential boiler or a, massive industrial heating unit.
It simplifies things a lot, I imagine.
Hugely. It streamlines their design, their manufacturing, everything. But there's another big advantage mentioned.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
These products, they're globally approved.
Globally approved.
Yeah. Meaning an OEM, let's say they build their heating device in Germany, they can sell that same device pretty much anywhere in the world using the exact same Siemens components inside. Think about the folks who install these things, the commissioning engineers or the service technicians who maintain them.
Right.
It makes their job so much simpler. Same parts, same procedures, whether they're in Berlin or Beijing or Boston. Consistency.
That's a massive advantage. Okay, but let's circle back to that phrase, controlled explosion. Even control, it sounds like safety has to be just paramount. What's the number one thing here?
You've hit the nail on the head. It's safety. Above all else, non-negotiable. There's a really powerful statement from Ronald, who's head of product management for this at Siemens. He just says flat out, we sell safety.
Wow.
We sell safety. And it's not just talk. I mean, think about it. You're dealing with oil, gas, increasingly potentially hydrogen. These are energy-dense fuels. If you don't manage that controlled reaction meticulously, the potential for things to go wrong is, it's very real.
So how do they ensure that safety?
It shapes everything they do. Every product is developed strictly according to international safety standards, the toughest ones. Siemens has really built its reputation on this. Their name is basically synonymous with safety in this whole field. It's the foundation. Everything else, efficiency, smart features, all that, it's built on top of that rock-solid safety base.
It's funny, you really do take it for granted, don't you?
We all do.
That feeling when your furnace just kicks on in the winter, you turn on the hot tap, you just assume it's safe. But there's this whole hidden layer of technology, this constant vigilance, making sure it is safe, day in, day out. That's actually quite profound when you stop to think about it.
It really is.
Okay, so safety is foundational. But what about looking ahead? What are the big challenges, the future directions for combustion tech? Because the world's asking for more than just heat now. Sustainability is huge.
Absolutely. And that's reflected very clearly in Siemens' vision that they talk about.
What's the vision?
It's about creating a clean future with efficient and safe combustion solutions made in Germany in a digitized world. Lots packed in there.
Yeah, let's break that down. Clean future, efficient.
Right. So energy efficiency and low emissions, they're not nice to haves anymore. They're critical for the planet, obviously, but also just for running costs, for our wallets. So these advanced systems are designed to help their customers, the OEMs making the heaters, meet those really tough sustainability targets.
And what about new fuels? You mentioned hydrogen earlier.
Yeah, hydrogen is a big part of that clean future picture. The source material makes a point of saying their products are already hydrogen ready.
What does hydrogen ready actually mean in practice? Is it just a switch you flip?
Oh, definitely not. It's quite involved. Hydrogen burns differently than natural gas, hotter, faster. So it requires different burner designs, materials that can handle the conditions, and crucially, control systems that are specifically tuned for hydrogen's behavior.
So it's real engineering work.
Absolutely. It's about making sure the systems can safely and efficiently use hydrogen as part of that changing energy mix as we move away from fossil fuels.
So these aren't just small tweaks then. They're fundamental shifts, adapting the technology for a world that wants cleaner energy, smarter solutions.
Exactly. It's proactive. It's about ensuring our comfort doesn't have to come at such a high environmental price. Maybe it can even contribute positively.
Now, that phrase in their vision, made in Germany, we hear that a lot, usually meaning quality. But what does it mean specifically here for combustion technology?
Well, it definitely implies quality, but the source points to something more specific, which is quite interesting. It's this one-stop shop model they have.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, meaning everything from the very first spark of an idea, the research, the development, the engineering, the actual manufacturing, marketing, sales, distribution, it all happens under one roof, integrated.
So it's not just assembled in Germany. The whole process is managed there.
Precisely. It's not a fragmented thing where bits come from all over. This integrated approach, they argue, allows for really tight quality control at every single step.
I could see that. Better communication between teams, maybe?
Exactly. Feedback loops are shorter. You can potentially innovate faster. Yeah. And you get this unified vision, this consistency baked into the product from start to finish. It ensures that standard of excellence.
Okay, so for me, as someone who might eventually use a heating system with these components, that translates into reliability, better quality.
That's the idea. High quality, dependable, well-supported products. That consistency from the one-stop shop approach ultimately benefits the end user through a more reliable heating system.
Got it. Now, you mentioned Siemens' customers are mainly the OEMs, the companies making the actual heating units. Tell me more about that relationship. Why is it important for us?
Right, this is key. Siemens apparently doesn't just see these OEMs as, buyers of components. They view them as partners. Yeah. And this isn't new. They talk about decades of close collaboration, working with the OEMs to co-develop solutions. It sounds much more like a strategic alliance than just selling parts.
So they're designing things together.
Seems like it. Co-developing flexible, innovative products. And this partnership, this close relationship, is crucial for tackling future challenges together.
Like what kind of challenges?
Well, things like adapting to different gas qualities you might find in various parts of the world. Gas isn't always the same composition. Or meeting those ever stricter emissions rules we talked about. Because they work so closely, they can kind of anticipate these changes and engineer the solutions proactively, hand in hand.
And that collaboration, that's ultimately why the heating system I might buy keeps getting better. More efficient, safer, adapting to new rules.
That's exactly the link. That behind-the-scenes partnership and innovation means the products available to you are constantly evolving to meet new demands, even if you don't directly see that collaboration happening. It results in better, more reliable heating for everyone.
Okay, so where is this all heading? We touched on digitalization in their vision statement. How is that changing things? What does the future of heating look like?
Yeah, the digital side is definitely a major focus. It's really transforming things. There's a big push for, well, simplicity, but also leveraging digital tech to create new possibilities.
New possibilities for the OEMs or for us?
Both, really. Digitalization enables new business models for the OEMs, but those often translate into better, more convenient services for you, the end user.
Okay, give me some examples. What kind of digital features are we talking about?
So the source mentions things like cloud connectivity. Imagine your heating system being connected to the cloud.
Okay, what does that do?
It allows for remote monitoring. So maybe the service company could spot a potential issue before it even causes a breakdown.
Proactive maintenance.
Exactly. Predictive maintenance is the big one. Using data analytics to figure out if a part is likely to fail soon and fixing it before it breaks down instead of waiting for an emergency call out in the middle of winter.
That would be amazing. No more cold showers.
Right. And they also mention assistance with commissioning, making the initial setup and installation faster and smoother for the technicians, which again means better service for you.
So it really paints a picture of a much smarter home, doesn't it? And smarter buildings, smarter cities even.
It does, where your heating system isn't just a dumb box sitting in the basement, it's intelligent.
It communicates its needs, anticipates problems, works more efficiently.
Precisely. Making your life easier, potentially saving money on energy bills and repairs. It's about making that essential infrastructure more responsive, more intelligent.
So wrapping this up, it's really clear that this combustion technology, which most of us probably never think about,
works silently.
is just fundamental to our comfort, definitely, to our safety, absolutely. And now, increasingly, to building a cleaner, more sustainable future.
That's the core message, that vision of a clean future driven by efficient, safe solutions. And it's clear they see their expertise in things like hydrogen and this whole digital transformation as key to making that happen.
So here's something to think about. Imagine a world where your heating system isn't just keeping you warm, but it's actively predicting its own maintenance needs, maybe switching seamlessly between natural gas and clean hydrogen depending on availability, and genuinely contributing to a greener planet. How might that really change our relationship with energy, right in our own homes and cities? And maybe, what role will you play in that evolution?